You're doing everything right. You eat clean, you hit the gym, and your doctor just told you that your blood work is perfect. But if you're so healthy on paper, why do you feel so sick in real life? Why are you hitting a wall at 2 p.m. struggling with brain fog and waking up more tired than when you went to bed? 1. The normal range illusion. Lab normal ranges are based on a bell curve of the general population, a population that is statistically the unhealthiest it has ever been. Clinical norms are often created using data from people who are already seeking medical care, which shifts the baseline toward dysfunction. Consider this. 60% of US adults have at least one chronic disease, and 40% have 2 or more. If you are compared to the average, you are being compared to a group where over 70% are overweight or obese. Being normal simply means you aren't in acute organ failure. It does not mean your body is functioning at its best. Hormones can be off, energy production can be weak, and inflammation can be quietly building. True health exists in functional ranges, narrow windows where performance and longevity are maximized. Relying on a standard lab report is like checking whether a car's engine turns on instead of checking whether it's tuned to win a race. 2. The age 25 shift and biological debt. This is the reality of biological debt. Research indicates that starting in your mid-20s, NAD+ levels, the fuel for cellular energy, begin to plummet. By age 50, your levels can be 50% lower than in your youth, leaving your body with half the resources to repair daily damage. This is the moment your body starts collecting for years of neglect. A single night of junk food that you laughed off at age 20 can now trigger days of systemic inflammation at 30. Your system no longer has the resilience to process trash. It now requires high-performance inputs just to maintain a basic output. 3. The subclinical stress trap. The script. Most medical testing looks for extreme conditions, not chronic stress patterns. Daily pressures keep the nervous system switched on. Cortisol stays mildly elevated all day, never high enough to raise alarms, yet never low enough for real recovery. According to the American Psychological Association, nearly 1 in 4 adults report extreme stress, which keeps the body in a permanent catabolic state. Digestion weakens, mood becomes unstable, and sleep loses depth. You feel wired, but tired. This constant stress breaks down muscle and bone to meet energy demands. Standard testing rarely measures the cortisol slope throughout the day. Until this nervous system loop is addressed, no supplement can fully restore vitality. 4. Inflammaging and circadian chaos. You may not have an autoimmune disease, but your immune system can be on constant alert. Modern diets, chemicals, and prolonged sitting quietly inflame the body. This inflammaging erodes mental clarity and contributes to brain fog. Statistics show that 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep, but it's worse than that. Artificial blue light can suppress melatonin production by over 50%, delaying the body's repair window. Every organ has an internal clock. When light cues are chaotic, systems fall out of sync, creating social jet lag. Without deep sleep, the brain cannot clear metabolic waste. Many live in an in-between state, never fully awake, never fully rested. 5. The path to optimization. True physiological optimization demands comprehensive diagnostic scrutiny that goes far beyond a standard physical. Essential micronutrients like vitamin D3, ferritin, and B12 serve as the enzymatic catalysts for energy metabolism, cognitive clarity, and immune signaling. Merely falling within a broad laboratory range is no guarantee of metabolic efficiency or peak organ function. It often represents the bare minimum required to avoid deficiency, not the gold standard required to thrive. To illustrate the gap, the conventional normal threshold for vitamin D often sits at a meager 30 nanograms per milliliter, which is essentially a baseline for bone health, not total wellness. However, in the realm of functional immunology, experts argue that a concentration of 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter is the optimal therapeutic window, the zone where immune resilience is maximized and systemic inflammation is actively suppressed. Here is the tightened, high-impact version of those sections. I've kept the technical terms that provide authority, but stripped away the wordiness to keep the video's pace fast and engaging. We must dispel the myth that a 1-hour workout can neutralize 8 hours of sitting. Prolonged inactivity triggers a metabolic downregulation, signaling your mitochondria to enter a low-power mode. Unlike your heart, your lymphatic system has no central pump. It relies entirely on mechanical transduction, physical movement, to flush out cellular waste. Without consistent motion, your body essentially becomes a stagnant pond of metabolic toxicity. Your home should be a pro-recovery sanctuary engineered to lower your allostatic load. Every shift, from filtering your water and removing endocrine-disrupting plastics to prioritizing morning sun, acts as a powerful epigenetic signal. These inputs work in concert to reset your homeostatic balance, transforming a hostile modern environment into a space that actively restores your biological resilience. 6. The peril of clinical complacency. Here is a tightened, high-impact version of your closing sections. I have condensed the language to keep the viewer's attention sharp while maintaining the expert tone. Being healthy on paper is a perilous trap that breeds complacency. It gaslights you into accepting chronic discomfort as normal aging, rather than a reversible state of dysfunction. Remember, symptoms are vital biofeedback, not inconveniences to be suppressed. Your body always whispers through subtle fatigue or brain fog long before it breaks under a clinical pathology. If you ignore the whisper, you eventually invite the scream. The goal isn't just surviving, it's thriving. Don't wait for a diagnosis to validate your pain. By then, functional gaps have often become structural damage. Your health is your only sovereign asset and the foundation for every success you'll ever achieve. Start today with compounding habits. Take one non-negotiable step: 10 minutes of morning sunlight to anchor your circadian rhythm and recalibrate your hormones. These small, strategic shifts bridge the gap between barely getting by and optimized real-world health. Functional medicine, biohacking, chronic fatigue, metabolic flexibility, hormone optimization, cortisol awareness, blood work analysis, optimal versus normal labs, inflamm aging, circadian biology, longevity. Your health is your only sovereign asset. Don't let a generic lab report convince you that your struggle isn't real or that your fatigue is just a part of getting older. You deserve abundance, not just the absence of disease. If this video gave you the clarity you've been looking for, hit that like button. It helps this message reach others who are currently stuck in the paper health trap.